Welcome back to another Link lineup post game show where the Eagles have defeated the Giants 28-3 in a fashion that we haven't seen in 364 days. Almost a full year since we've had a two possession win. Yeah, since the Dolphins game last year. And they did it 28-3. Crazy. Uh I got Josh, I got Bryce. And boys, initial reactions. Josh, how you feeling?
Hey, we did it.
We did. We did it.
No, I mean, it's nice to have a convincing win. It's an unfamiliar feeling. Um, yeah, I mean, overall, I'm happy we performed. Saquon had a monster game.
We did.
We avoided major injury, I believe. I know Slay was limped off after the first half. I think
Yeah, the only person
he
I
was
saw that might have got hurt was Zach Bond at the end there. He
yeah,
ran off with his he was favoring a shoulder. So
yeah. So we'll see, but yeah. I mean, all in all, I'm happy. Defense almost had a shutout. That's always fun.
almost would have had a shutout if the Eagles just decided to play a little conservative at the end of the first half there. But it is what it is. Bryce, initial reactions. How you feeling?
Feel good. Feel feel really good. It seems like the team's starting to click a little bit
A little bit.
offensively. Um, still kind of stale when it comes to the passing game, but when you got a running back that's rushing for 176 yards and you rush for 270 as a team, averaging 6 yards a carry, it's kind of hard to go away from it. So I'm happy with it. I feel a lot better with the win that we have now that I'm going to Cincinnati next week to watch them. So hopefully another performance like we had today.
Yeah. So real quick, we'll address that. Next week there will not be a pregame, halftime, postgame show. I won't be here. I will be uh, somewhere else for a wedding. Bryce will be at Tennessee. So if Josh wants to do it by himself, he can. I'll give him the keys, but probably gonna have to skip next week. So next week will be a little weird for everything that has to do with this channel. Um, but yeah, we're here now. Um, fun fact: I'm looking at the box score. The Giants only passed for 43 net yards. If you include the 62 yards and sacks, only passed for 43 yards. That ain't bad. And then you look at the rushing totals, 76 yards. That that's good. That's good. They average 4 yards a carry, which is fine. But I mean their best run of the day I think was Drew Lock, right? So
Yeah.
who cares? They play defense came to play, and I think we talked about it maybe last week or maybe me and Bryce talked about it midweek a couple weeks ago. But Vic Fangio's defenses typically start out really slow, and then they pick it up and they just get better as the season progresses. And maybe that's what's happening. Maybe he's adjusting the way that we hope he would adjust, and maybe defense isn't as bad as some people make it out to be. I like the pieces we have. I think Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean had a good game. I think that the defensive line, everybody came to play today. I mean, if we look at the stats, I mean, like I said, Jalen Carter was in the backfield plenty of times. He had, I think, 2 sacks. Yeah, 2 sacks. Noah Smith had a sack. And here's the thing: a lot of these things aren't going to show up on the box score, but like Noah Smith made Daniel Jones step up. I think that was the one of the Jalen Carter sacks. Um, Same thing with Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff made Daniel Jones step up. And I think that was whenever Nakobe Dean got the sack. Even though Nakobe Dean was blitzing, he stepped up. Um, so the edge rushers got home. Jeremiah Charles Jr. got some action. Didn't see that, but he got 2 tackles. Alex Hunt got a sack. Josh Sweat got a sack. Milton Williams did not get a sack.
Hmm.
Mm,
Damn.
yeah, but overall, I mean, what performance by the defense. I mean, they held Malik Neighbors to 4 catches for 41 yards. All of that was in the first half. Um, I mean, what can you do, man? They had one big play opportunity with Jalen Hyatt at the end there. Isaiah Rogers, I don't know what you're doing there, pal. Don't know what the call was, but he got by you and he just dropped it. It's a shame because they could have got them something to be excited about. But yeah, man, defense was awesome. It was fun to watch. That was fun to watch. I was locked in on defense. I won't lie to you. I was like, these guys are ready to play. Quayon had a good game. Slay, you had a good game, buddy. I call you Slay. But yeah, I'm happy with the defense. Offensively, let's talk offense. Jalen Hurts didn't have to do too much. 10 of 14, 114 yards and a touchdown. Sacked 4 times. If you want to critique his play, I wouldn't reference the Saquon wheel route that he was open on. A lot of people are mad about it, but a lot of people don't realize it's not Madden. You don't have a full view of like the field, and so like what we see Saquon naked over there, just hanging out. But what Jalen probably sees is, I think it was Brian Burns just crashing in on him, and he's on the same side as Saquon. So I don't want to judge him based on that. Now the Devontae Smith one, you can judge him. I mean, my God, that was horrific. But I mean, he made up for it at the end of the day. Bryce, how do you feel about Jalen Hurts' play this today? Do you think he's building momentum, because this is the second straight game of no turnovers?
Yeah, he looked good today, especially with dealing with a lot of pressure early in the game. I think he hung in there, made some adjustments, missed some throws, but like you said, this ain't Madden. The wheel route was open. To me, he didn't even really look over there. I would just like for him to give Saquon a look, scan the field a little bit better. The Devontae Smith one, that was inexcusable. He was trying to go for the big play, and when he shouldn't have. Devontae was wide open. It wasn't even close. But overall, I thought he played well today. He needs to keep building on it, and hopefully he can next week.
Right. And so, Josh, I'll ask you a different question, because I'm sure you probably had the same thoughts as Bryce on that one. What do you think about the identity of this offense? Coming into this week, maybe we didn't know what the identity was. What are we going to be? So, in your ideal world, what do you think the identity of this offense is? Do you think it's a pass first team through AJ and Devontae, or do you think it should be through Saquon? Like, what do you think the identity should be?
It's hard to say. I mean, obviously, when the rushing game is as successful as it was today, you obviously want to keep running the ball when you're getting 6 yards a carry. In a perfect world, I'd like to see a more balanced offense, provided the Jalen can sustain that. But when we're able to run the ball like this, I'm more than happy to just keep pounding it, minimize the turnovers, and frankly, I mean, rely more on Saquon than Jalen. We don't have to rely on Jalen to make as many decisions. Less room for error when running the ball like this. But when we have the passing weapons we do, like AJ and Devontae, obviously it's hard not to want to give them the ball. But yeah, I mean, if we can keep running the ball like this and run first, second, and third.
Right. So I think the biggest thing is, I think you got to use the run game to really set up your pass game. I think this team wants to be a pass first team and then run the ball second. You got to establish the run, let them fill up the box, and then take the top off of the defense. I think they're trying to do it backwards, and it's just not working. There was a stat, Bryce, I sent it to you. Let me pull it up real quick. So I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. I think it's Denise Selman. He put up an interesting stat. The Eagles had the worst offense in the league for the first 2 drives of the game, and the second best offense after. So it does make you think if the first 2 drives are scripted, it's got to be Nick's fault. And like it's like Nick's decisions on play calling and setting up the offense is bad. And maybe we should just stop. Just stop. There's no need for it. And like the biggest thing is, I feel like the scripted plays are like push the ball downfield, and then they end up being plays that end up having no effect at all. It might be a incomplete pass, a sack, something, and now your quarterback isn't in rhythm, and your offense is struggling. We could have beat the Giants by more than 25 points. We could have easily put up 40 points on them, but it's just slow starts at after the half and at the beginning of games. And I'm not sure what to do to fix it other than tell Nick to kick rocks and stop touching the offense. Um, but yeah, I mean that's my thing. We got to fix it. We got to fix that, and then we'd be golden. I think. I'm not saying we're the best team in the NFL by far, but if the offense can figure it out and the offense can start really like clicking, I think that this team can be a very good team. But we'll save that conversation for another day. Um, any takeaways you guys want to get off your chest? Maybe something special that you can think of.
Q has got to get a pick sometime.
Yes,
That's still on my mind.
he will get a pick at some point. It would be interesting if he doesn't if he finishes the season with no picks.
Yeah. Got to hit that jugs receipt in the offseason.
Yeah, or hit it now.
But,
Just hit it
yeah.
now after the game.
How do you like the Ben Van Sumer and fullback?
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up. Because I forgot about it the first half. I remember it now. I like that. I like that a lot. And it works.
He had some key blocks today.
Yeah, on that.
And he was hyped. He was hyped up about it too.
Yeah, the big Saquon run. I believe we were at like the 15-ish yard line, and he broke off for like 40 yards. That was huge. He made a huge block there to open up the hole and to really seal off the defender. I like it. I think we should see more of it. It just works, and it's going to look good on all 22 when we watch it because you're going to see how much of a difference that made. Obviously, you can't have fullback every single play. It's not the 80s, it's not the 90s, early 2000s anymore. Right. Fullbacks are non-existent, but man, sometimes you throw them in there, change it up a little bit, perfect. Right. Josh, was there anything you wanted to add?
I kind of wanted to expand on what you were talking about with the play calling and Nick Sirianni, because I agree. I think if we can get the offense clicking, I think everything else will kind of fall into place. I have confidence in the defense. I mean, it's just got to be an ego thing at this point, because it's not like, I mean, obviously Nick's track record when he gets his fingers in the offense isn't great. The Super Bowl season, I don't know how much he had to do with play calling. Obviously last year, we saw how things went, especially down the stretch. I mean, I think it's just got to be an ego thing, and it's not. I don't know. It's not based in past production from him, so you got to figure that out if he wants. I mean, if he wants to stay around, the offense has to click at some point, and it seems like the less he's involved, the better we do.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to slowly phase him out, maybe. But I will say, thank you. I will say that I think this is a turning point in the season. I know I tweeted it out. I think that having a big win against a divisional opponent, whether it's the Giants, Cowboys, or Commanders, I think that it definitely gets the guys' confidence back up. I also think that they're having fun. It looks like they're having fun today. They look like they're having a blast. They look like no tension at all. When they celebrated, it looked like they actually wanted to celebrate with each other. So maybe the stench is maybe slowly wearing off. It makes me happy because I was hard on Josh Sweat. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was his biggest critic, but he's really turned it up as of late. And I don't know, man. This team scares me still, but I feel much more confident in this team. And with that being said, confidence. Where are we at with this team going forward now? Probably should have kept track of it from week one though now to see how much it fluctuates. Because I guarantee you, after that Bucks game, it was probably a one. But Bryce, starting with you, 1 to 10, how confident are you in this team going forward?
I'm going to be at about an 8 right now.
We're so bad. So bad.
I just think some of the things that they're doing, like we talked about a lot, isn't sustainable. But there's a lot of things that they can count on that are sustainable, and that's the offensive line and number 26. Those two things right there will keep you in a lot of football games. I think the offensive line kind of settled in as a whole. They stepped up after a first couple disaster sacks. But after in the second half there, I think they really settled in. And I'm getting a lot more confidence in the defensive line because these past two games are have been confidence boosters for them. They've been massive for them. I'm interested to see how they do next week. That Cincinnati Bengals offensive line is pretty banged up, and they weren't very good to start with. So, excited to see how that goes.
Yep, I agree with you. I think next week is a weird game, and we'll talk about that here in a second before we wrap up. Josh, where are you at on the confidence meter with this team?
Yeah, I was going to say a 7. I think 6 or 7. It feels like we're actually trending in the right direction. Obviously, I don't think we're there yet, but it feels
For
like
once, it feels
this
like
week was progress. Yeah, for the first time, probably all season, it feels like I have more confidence this week than last week. I mean, maybe after the Saints game, I guess, but yeah, I mean, this is probably the most confident I've felt this season. I want to say. I mean, I think from top to bottom, it's the best performance we've had all season, and there's obviously room for improvement with the slow starts in each half. And yeah, but all in all, yeah, I mean, a 6 or 7, which is a lot better than I could have said after some of the weeks this year.
yeah. I think you said it best, and I like I said whenever I tweeted about it, I think that just because we're confident and we feel good about like the win, we all realize there's plenty to work on. There's plenty that this team has to improve on if they want to be serious come January. But today might have been the first step, you know, in the right direction because the defense played a phenomenal game. The offense played a good game. We almost saw what it looks like whenever this team has great play on both sides. But the offense just it wasn't clicking, and that should be our strength, you know. But it wasn't, and that's fine. Um, next week they should hopefully pick it up. Pray to God they pick it up. I'm at like a 9. I'm obviously more optimistic than both of you guys. And if you've watched long enough and you listen long enough, you know that I'm the most optimistic person in the world. I think Nick Sirianni's a good coach. I think this is a good win for him. And everybody's going to hate me whenever they hear that, but it is what it is. I think he has his flaws, and most of them are major flaws, but I think things that he brings to the table, they're good things. I just also noticed on my screen that the Washington is about to beat the absolute shit out of the Panthers. They just
Jaden Daniels went to the medical tent. Oh,
right. So that being said, we'll talk about Cincinnati real quick. I think it's a weird game. So Cincinnati's what 2-3 and what 3-4 maybe. I think they're 3-4. Yeah. They haven't had a bye week yet, so I'm assuming 3-4.
Yeah.
And they're part of me wants to say they're a good team. They have weapons. They have weapons on the outside. They got Joe Burrow. They got a nice little rushing attack with Zach Moss and Chase Brown. But they look bad. And I think this Bengals game is a good say a good test. Just kind of see where the Eagles are.
Jaden
Bengals.
Daniels is going into the locker room.
Oh, that's not good.
Marcus Mariota is coming into the game.
Oh man, Eagle legend. What was I saying? But it'll be a good test. It'll be a good test because I think the Bengals are bad, and if the Eagles can beat the Bengals, like a solid win, I think that's whenever we should start feeling a little bit better about ourselves. But until then, we're riding high on this win. That's all it's going to be. It'll be interesting to see what the offense looks like when the tape comes out. But if I had to guess, there's a lot of pressure, and Jalen couldn't do the reads like he wanted to. I will say he got popped at the goal line, but Jalen's a big dude, man. He didn't go down. He got it was two just like semi trucks just colliding, and you know you can't talk shit if you can't knock the quarterback down. You got a free hit at him. Don't run your mouth. But yeah, let's give away our game balls. Josh, start with you. Who is your game ball going to for this game? And if you say Saquon, that's a cop out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the obvious one, so I can't say Saquon. Aside from him, no, I'm gonna give it to Jalen. I like that he had no turnovers for the second week in a row. He was responsible for 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
He missed a couple throws, but all in all, he managed the game well, and didn't make mistakes. So I'll give it to him.
There you go. Bryce, who will you give your game ball to?
I'm gonna go with the defensive line in total.
Okay.
Congratulations, fellas. I don't know what Vic Fangio did during the bye week, but he seemed a lot of fire under y'all's behinds. So, congratulations on finally getting a game ball.
Yeah. I'm gonna give my game ball to Saquon.
Cop out. That's great.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna give mine to Nakobe. Nakobe had 11 total tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 4 hits on the quarterback. He was flying everywhere. He played the game they let him play his game to his strength, which is downhill attack. And I think he played phenomenally. I also want to give a nice shout out to our dear friend Braden Mann. Nice little silly after he got lit up.
What did he do?
Hey, he got the roughing the kicker. He got up and he was like first down. He didn't care. He got hit. He got a first down. So shout out to him. Shout out to Cooper DeJean. He looked good as a punt returner. Looks solid as a punt returner. He might return one for a touchdown before this year's over with.
He don't look fast enough. I don't know why.
Well, anyway,
you don't have to be fast as a punt returner. You just got to be quick. And I think he's quick.
Right.
I'm also going to give one honorary game ball to Nick Sirianni. He needed this one. He looked like he was a loss away from losing his job and just calling it quits. So shout out to you, Coach. Glad to have you as our coach, and you're the best coach in the NFL. So with that being said, I think this is a good stopping point because I just got super unserious. We got plenty of football left to watch today. And yeah, we're here. Eagles are 4-2 going into week 8. Traveling to Cincy. Bryce will be there. We got boots on the ground. I'm not going. Makes me sad, but it's okay. Always next year. But I got bigger fish to fry. Got a wedding, so that'll do it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to check out all our shows this week. I believe the Hydro and Co show's going to record tomorrow, so that'll be fun. And yeah, see you guys at some point. I don't know if we're going to record on Wednesday. We're recording on Wednesday, that's for sure. We have to. But see you guys next time. Until then, as always, go Birds.
Go Birds.